Alright, let's talk about Umi. What is there to talk about Umi, alright? Shatter, 12, charge 9. The 12 shatter, alright, is very copium on CN. It's probably also copium over here. Yeah, probably fake news as usual. And then she has attack and crit, so has crit, so that's a good thing. Physical weapon, so has Grievous, we all know that. Physical resonance, as all new weapons have resonance on global, yes. The 1-star effect. Pretty much, this thing used to be on the 5-star for CN. We got it early, because apparently for global we charge slower. The charge effect, or building up warm-up points, we have a smaller cooldown. On CN I think it's 0.1 seconds, on global it's 0.06, but we only get 1 point on physical weapons, and non-physical is 0.5. On CN, physical is like 3 points, non-physical is like 1. If I remember correctly. So they changed the warm-up point accumulation for global, so we'll probably go run some tests and actually like test and see if it's faster or not. I don't think it is. It's definitely slower according to math. We'll talk about the stars later. Just go into normal attacks, right? Normal attacks, ground combos. I think this is the only thing you do on Umi, because everything else is kind of copium. Even the ground combos itself is copium, but you do attacks because of the 6-star effect for meta DPS, right? Because over here. And then air combos, slightly more damage, I think. Wait, is the air combo less ratios than the ground combo? Hold on a sec. That's auto attack for 10 seconds on the training dummy. I mean, there's crit, there's charge, there's Grievous. That did 1.3 mil. Right, get into the air. There's no matrices here. Apparently in the air you do less damage. Is this the first weapon that's like this? This is okay testing, right? Nothing wrong here. I mean, you can tell that the air combo just has less ratios compared to the ground combo. I feel like this is the first weapon that does less damage when using stamina, and also, right, air combos don't have the increased shatter. So like, yeah, never do this, I guess. It's never worth your time. Out of the blue, this is the hold attack. This is somewhat of a gather. And then I don't know like what's considered smaller targets versus larger targets. But then the shatter, the additional 50% shatter, this is all pretty copium as well. I've tested this on CN. It doesn't really shatter, right? Oh wait, no, the hold attack was the close-up magic, my bad. The attack and hold is basically similar to this. I did it opposite. This is the hold attack. This is the attack and hold. It's basically the same thing. It somehow consumes stamina as well. Literally the text is also the same. 105, 85.5, 105, 85.5. Yeah, they're literally the same thing. So one is mid combo, you can hold and do a flip kick, and then the other one is hold and do the same flip kick. I don't see a reason why you would ever do this besides for posing purposes. Never do this. It's never useful in actual combat. Stage rotation. Tap and hold normal attack while airborne. Okay, this is just the plunge attack. Ratios are also pretty copium. Completely useless moves again. Let's see if there's a jetpack performance, alright? We try and jetpack this. Still uses stamina. No point, okay. Don't even bother. Yeah, none of these are good to use. Alright, move on to the next section. Dodge. She has a dash attack, which does also pretty copium damage, and also increased shatter. But it doesn't really shatter either, and you shouldn't really ever do the dash attacks unless you want to just like reposition your character, right? So like, yeah, don't do this either, right? That's it. That's her dash attack. And then now we go into what's actually interesting about her, right? Her skill. It's magic time, right? You may have noticed she has a bar down here. There's a bar. It doesn't matter which weapon you're on, right? I'm on Claudia, you still have the bar. This is her charge bar for her skill, right? If this is not full, you cannot press her skill. So I can use her skill now. The bar will go down. I swap weapon, the bar completely depletes. And if I'm still in combat, I have to attack to build charge. You're not able to use the skill if you don't have a full bar. Okay, I don't have a full bar, right? Insufficient warm-up points. So like her cooldown is pretty much irrelevant. Only the bar matters, and you gotta actually charge, right? How do you charge this? Every 0.0 seconds, Any physical weapon will get 1 point with each hit, right? So Lyra, punching, Claudia, fast attacks maybe can charge this. Other weapons, 0.5 points per with each hit. Okay. And then I instantly full charge because when you first go into combat, if you go out of combat and back into combat, when this happens, you instant full charge. So like Lin, very slow charge. Blooms, do blooms count? Okay, blooms do count. So maybe Lin actually is okay. But like, oh my god, this is so slow. This is actually like really slow compared to Cian. Right? And then there's a notch over here. I learned this yesterday actually. Apparently, this is not very noticeable. There's a notch over here. This is their 70% indicator. And then this basically means, right, when you get to 1 star, you switch to when you switch to Umi, you gain the 30 warm-up points. So when your charge meter goes over this notch over here, you can switch to Umi with a 17-second cooldown, and then you'll gain full charge, right? So the 1 star is kind of like necessary, I guess. Her skill basically is all about the charge bar, right? And then once you get to 100 points, you press the skill, right? The skill does a huge amount of damage, right? Pretty good ratios over here. Become temporarily invincible, right? So has iframes. This doesn't mean you're invincible during the whole duration that your like Showtime is active. You're only invincible during the animations of it, as usual, just like Alice Hyperbody, but not really invincible. Umi is invincible. Speed reduction, blah blah blah. Right? At the same time, magic trick, and it consumes warm-up points for 18 seconds, 30-second cooldown. This is irrelevant. It's all about your charge bar. And then the cooldown not affected by effects that reset. So like Claudia stuff don't matter. Like the cooldown doesn't matter. The cooldown really doesn't matter on Umi. You're never waiting for the cooldown. You're always just waiting for your charge bar. Right? You're always waiting for your warm-up points to build up. And then once you use the skill, you will get this card swapping thing. And then you can choose your different card combo. The only thing really relevant is Spade plus Spade. So when you use your skill, you'll default to black cards, Spades. This is the only thing that's really relevant. It'll spawn this tornado, and then it'll constantly do damage. Right, this is the most DPS. For the duration of your 18 seconds, you will get 4 of them. You get to select cards 4 times. How this works is basically, right, you default to black, you can press the skill again to switch it to red, and then now it'll accumulate red cards. Every 2 seconds, you'll gain a new card. And swap again, black and red. Right, so there's 3 different effects based on what card you choose. The black plus red is literally just a buff. Psychic Puppet is a buff that increases damage 7.5. And then you have like this delayed damaging effect, which is decently useful, I guess, but like it doesn't really do anything when content is really hard and one-shots you. But like it's good to have. I don't think this is worth doing, especially on global when it's only 7.5%. So basically this will like prevent, like let you take less damage, and you'll just take the rest as slow bleed damage for your healers to heal you up. Psychic Puppet is not really that relevant for whales because, as over here, on the 5-star, this used to be the 1-star effect on CN, you gain the buff immediately going into Magic Trick, right? And then the buff goes from 7.5 to 15, and then you also heal and get weapon charge. Or like this effect basically means you can ignore the black and red card, because every time you go into Magic Trick, you gain the buff already, so you don't have to like manually trigger it. So if you don't have 5-star and you want to use the buff, remember to just skill and then change your card and then change back. So you trigger your buff at the beginning, and then you continue your regular combo with your black cards. This Psychic Puppet thing. So if you can't get 5-star, maybe you want to do it, but I don't think that damage boost is worth it when you can just do another cycle of black card damage. But if you got 5 stars, you don't gotta worry because you just automatically get the buff. The double red card is a heal, right? But it does dot damage to 7 nearby targets for 3 seconds, right? This dot damage is less than the card sweep damage, slightly less. But I feel like this, you maybe want to use double red card for content where the boss or whatever target you're fighting is running around, because the card sweep spawn is like stationary, right? Very stationary. So if the monster like ends up running away, then like you just completely lose all your damage. Like this whole damage is just gone. But the card sweep also does do a little bit of gather. So for like small mobs and Bygone, it does really good grouping. But against bosses, I don't know. Maybe use double red card if it's a boss that runs around a lot. Double black cards summon large number of flying cards. Hurricane attacks the target up to 12 times. Does global card sweep not group? Am I reading this correctly? Or is it just not in the description text? Right, we can go into Bygone just to showcase it. That's the whole point of that black card thing. It's grouping and good damage, but like, it comes out every 4 seconds. Right, so press this. Black card. Right, it starts grouping. Right, it does group. It's actually a really good group. It's not in the description text, but it does group. And then during the skill, you have like a hyper body. You're considered as having a shield. Considered as having a shield. This is just old CN text. This considered as having a shield, because you need a shield to trigger Lin Zone AoE damage on CN. On global, you don't need a shield to trigger Lin Zone. You just have to be like physical. So like this is no longer relevant for global. They just left it in. Your magic gauge will also no longer be automatically replenished. Automatically replenished? You mean like manually replenished by attacking? Okay. And then yeah, during the skill, your physical damage, normal attack, like your basic attacks go up by 10%, and then you have more shatter. Right? Just the standard stuff. You basically use magic trick and attack. Like Umi is a very simple to play character. And then Discharge is just your regular Discharge, right? Deals damage. Has invincibility, okay. So has iframes on Discharge and skill. Let's see how much damage the Discharge does. Wait a second. 100k. It's not bad, but it could be better. Let's do some damage testing, I guess. And trigger 4-piece 0 matrix. That's a big brain question right there. Let's find out. It's considered you have shield. Does it trigger 4-piece 0? Would be support time? No, but like this is the problem. You have to be in Showtime. You have to be in the magic trick. Let's see. Showtime! No. I don't see the buff. Fake news, right? Seems like fake news. All right, let's get Lyra. Now we actually have a shield. Right, this is real news. We switched to 0. It should show up, right? No? Is the buff bar collapsed? I thought there was an indicator on CN. The global don't have an indicator? Because I remember some video testing it. I mean, I guess we just look at the damage then. Fuck. Alright, let me just do it this way then. We press Showtime, and then we just auto attack until Showtime pops. And then we do it with and without the 4th piece. That should cover it, right? So just Showtime. And then we auto attack until the bar pops. That was 4.3 mil. And then now we put on the 0 piece. I mean, this is level 80, but I don't think it's probably negligible. If this effect is working, I would do more damage. What? You sure it's working? Why did we do less? There's no way like the 500 attack made a difference here, right? There's no way. It can't just be lucky crits. We try again. The 500 attack isn't going to make that much of a difference when you have like 24k. I don't think the shield effect is active, because if the shield effect is active, we're doing 28% more damage, which is a lot more than like if we removed a piece. It should be way more. Yeah, this is definitely not active. 4P0 definitely not active. Right now, if we put like Lyra up here, and we put 4P0, and then we pre-charge our shield. Right, we get a shield first. Now we actually have a health shield. We have 4P0 on Mobius, right? We do the same thing. There's actual damage now. We'll wait for it to pop. Right, there's 6 mil. This is more in line, right? This is definitely now I have the friggin' 0 buffs active. So 4P0 works if you have Lyra giving you the shield, obviously. The skill effect, right? Which is says, during Magic Trick, you are considered as having a shield. This is fake news. You are not considered as having a shield in terms of the 0 matrices. So this doesn't work with 0, right? Scam. All right, let's test the charge rate now. How well does all the characters charge? All right, so let's see how fast Lyra charges. All right, let's do some punching. This is not bad. This is not bad. And if you have 1 star, you switch now. And if you have Lin also charging at the background, maybe it's faster. All right, let's try it. Lin, Lyra. Lin does charge in the background. It's very slow, right? The blooms do help you charge, right? I go on to Lin. The blooms do help you charge the bar. Every hit is 0.5. It's very copium, but it does help. Right, so your basic rotation, I guess, at A0, like, how would a free-to-play build Umi if you pulled a 0-star copy? You would want to put Samir Crow. Right, this is your standard free-to-play active weapon DPS setup. Right, 2 Samir, 2 Crow. Lin only charges when she is on field. Yes, I know. It's said the charge will help. It's only your active weapon, right? Any weapon with the main slot. So if you swap Lin off and you charge with like Lyra, it doesn't help at the same time. Right? So if you do this, hold on. Get rid of the charge. Now it doesn't help at all. But like when you're on the weapon, the blooms going off at a fast rate does help a decent amount, I guess. Saves you like a second or 2 at most, honestly. But yeah, the charging is really slow on Umi, on global. So basically, you don't really want to charge with Lin. You want to play like, I mean, what other physical weapons do you have, right? Maybe even Shiro. Shiro probably would help too, right? So 1-star Umi, how do you even... Does playing 1-star Umi even make sense? Like 0-star Umi doesn't make sense unless you just Umi DPS. Right? And then Crow doesn't work on Cactus, right? Normally you want to do this, so maybe put Shiro here. Free-to-play build. What else would you have as a free-to-play? Like a copium shit like this? You have this as your buffer, this as your shatter, shield break, charge, and then this as your main DPS. This is kind of copium. But this would work. This would kind of work. Right? Stack buffs with like Tsubasa. Right? And then like start doing your burst. Spam basic attacks. But this is the problem, right? Your Tsubasa charge is already over. Halfway through your meter. So it's like not optimal. Very copium. And then you can't swap off of Umi until it blows up. And then now what? You swap to Shiro? Maybe shields up. You charge your meter? Ah, fuck. Pre-charged. Let's see how fast this charges, actually. Oh god, this is so copium. Yeah. Like, I would not recommend anyone try this build. Physical is very whale comp. Maybe Shiro Zone charges faster. Let's charge with Shiro Zone. Let's try it. Damn, that's super fast, guys. Like, if you're a new player and you want to play physical, and Umi is the only banner character right now, don't do it, right? If you have to pair Umi with other free-to-play options, Yeah, but if Lyra and Claudia reruns, you can do it. But again, I don't recommend. Right? I'm never gonna recommend physical comp to anybody. Not today. Never. Not yet. Maybe Ganono, whenever she comes out. We'll save this for free to play. Right? Umi is good for whales though. If you're a brand new player starting up and you really love Umi, God help you. All right, let's go to the 1-star discussion. 0-star Umi, just don't even bother. Just use the avatar and play Frost instead. Yeah. But like Umi at, I'd say 1-star starts becoming actually okay. The 0-star missing this damage over here, missing the resistance shred, although it's 10% and like it's not really relevant. This is still something. Let's get it to 1-star. 1-star is where most people should stop. This at 1-star is huge quality of life, right? You no longer have to charge for a million hours. It cuts your charging by like, what, 30%, right? Which is very good. Lin. Alright, there's a card sweep. I don't know, there's something broken with Umi. Now it's doing it. Right? Wait for your bar to go away. Right? When your bar goes away, it pops and does a shit ton of damage, right? Your bar is gone, right? Maybe you have Lin, you jump cancel the discharge. Do the Lin stuff. Go back to your charge weapon. Punch until you're at the notch on your charge meter. And then switch into Umi. Immediately Showtime. Press the skill again. Magic trick. Keep auto attacking. This is your basic rotation. Rinse and repeat, basically. And then that's basically the 1-star playstyle. You can use Lyra here to charge. Just basic way to play Umi is stack buffs, press skill, auto attack, rinse and repeat. After you're done with auto attacking, you switch over to whatever charge weapon, charge up the bar, go again. Right? That's one playstyle. Right? The second one is when you go to 3-star. 3-star is if you end magic trick early, right? You'll deal some damage over time, and then the skill cooldown reduced. Physical damage is increased. If there's more than 13 seconds, you gain weapon charge. Right? More time remaining, the higher the damage, greater the skill cooldown, blah, 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 wall of text. Right? Longer the damage boost. The damage is capped at 200% of attack, which is very copium. And then there's a 13-second cooldown reduction. All right? Physical damage boost can last up to 20 seconds. Right? How do you do this? Once you unlock 3-star, Umi becomes a support weapon, or Umi can become a support weapon for other physical. And obviously you get the skin. Now, if you have the 3-star, you can have Lyra be the main DPS. Okay, so how do you run this comp? You put main DPS matrices over here. Optimally, you probably want to put Lin here. 4-piece Lin over here. And then you want to put 4-piece Umi over here, but whatever. Just equipping matrices. Right, this other playstyle is different now, right? You're gonna use Lyra as main DPS, like how you used to use Lyra as main DPS. Right? Only do this if you have a high investment Lyra. Right? Lyra does DPS like just dash attack plus like punch, right? So basically, same thing. You start off with Lin Zone, but then you no longer use Umi as the active DPS, obviously. So like you put Lin Zone, you switch into Umi, you do the skill, you have enough time to send out one card sweep, right? When you send out one card sweep, you want to switch into Lyra, your main DPS weapon, and then you attack with this thing, right? You DPS with Lyra, and then you charge back. And then again, you have the 1-star effect already, so you only have to charge up to like here. Go back to Lin, stack your buffs, go on to Umi, press skill, wait until your card sweep goes out, immediately swap, and DPS with Lyra. Right? This is how you play support Umi, or another physical weapon. Right, there's two playstyles. So you only have enough time to do one card sweep. And this does okay damage as well. Right, two playstyles. Right, Pretty simple. Basically, you're just maximizing the 3-star effect, right? Trigger a 1-card sweep, have the AoE damage on field, swap it away. That's exactly enough time to swap and gain the weapon charge and do all the damage boosts. This one has better survival. This one on CN does less damage overall, but I guess better survival? Like better theoretical damage, right? You're not confined by the card sweep, the Umi card sweeps. Right? If you have a 6-star Lyra, you probably want to do this. So you don't have to be forced to stay on Showtime. You can do whatever the fuck you want. The thing is, you don't have the 6-star effect yet. The 6-star effect basically like doubles Umi's attack damage. If you have 6-star Umi, you want to be auto-attacking on Umi. Right? We talked about the 5-star effect already. Right? You just gain Psychic Puppet. Right? Psychic Puppet gives you 7.5% damage. You don't bother with this because it's only damage dealt by Mobius, the weapon, right? The whip only. So on the Lyra support build, you don't bother with this. But if you're doing like, let's just say we're using Umi as main DPS again. You do the usual, and then you go Umi. Right? You may want to swap this once and gain the 7.5% damage buff and then go back to card sweep. So you get that damage. I don't know if it's worth it on global. No one does it on CN, but like the survivability aspect of the Psychic Puppet might be useful, right? Can the Psychic Puppet on the card and A5 stack? No, basically you just gain the effect. It doesn't stack. So like once you get to A5, ignore whatever I just said. Don't bother with the black and red card. Just send to double black, and then you now heal, right? A5 is very simple, right? It's the standard A5 you gain survivability thing on every character now after they swap the 1 and 5 stars. Let's just get Umi straight to 6. Umi has some sort of self-heal, right? So now we're at 6. Now when you're at 6, you definitely want to be on Umi's weapon to do damage, right? Right? So every hit right now is 1 hit, right? Obviously. But when you do this, now you have another whip that does another hit. Right? It's basically mirrors your attacks. This is like doubling your damage at A6. This is a huge damage boost. Apparently this also works with relics. And then since like no one does this on CN, obviously, because hologram on CN is like a minute extra cooldown. But on global with the 120-second cooldown, with the 2-minute cooldown, you can use this twice on Bygone. So this might be good for Umi. If it works. Alright, let's try it. I just do skill only. Auto attack. Okay, it popped. We did about 9 mil. And then now if we hologram. Hologram, please. Why are you Pepega? Fucking hologram. I should have spawned somewhere else, but it does work. It does give you damage boost. It's not one of those fake holograms on CN where like it doesn't even copy your skill. But the basic playstyle for this now, the skill. Right, just press skill, auto attack. Same shit. Stay on black cards. Do damage. Charge to 70%. Alright. Do your thing. Charge. Alright, we can test Claudia after this, but yeah, it's the same rotation basically. You just now do a lot more damage with your A6. And then you want to pop Kant like about the same time as when you press the skill. That's about it. Right, now we test Claudia. Right, Claudia also works. Ignore the damage because like our matrices are set up wrong. Right, so if you have Claudia, you want to start with Claudia. Or start with Lin and then Claudia and then go in, because you want the damage boost, right? So like Lin zone, Claudia thing, and then straight into this. Same copium stuff, auto attacks, wait until bar goes away. Right, and then now you just, I don't know what you can do. Spam aerials. I don't think you want to stay on Claudia though. So like, I think you just go back to Umi and auto attack. This is like very copium. I definitely do not recommend. And then you basically pay attention to your Claudia stacks as well. Make sure you keep it up. Try to keep up your Lin zone, keep up your Claudia stacks, and then just charge and do damage when your bar is charged. It could have figuring out which identical looking buff you need to keep up. I mean, you look at the buff that has 3 stacks. It's pretty obvious, right? Now we get rid of Lin, right? There's like 3 builds basically. And then other copium stuff like Shiro, but this one's same shit, right? Same shit. Just... What am I doing? Let's see how fast this charges. Wait until the bar to go away. Do your thing. Charge. Charge again. It's all very copium. Right, mind you, this is not maxed out. 0-star Umi. Not leveled. Matrices on the wrong place. This is 50% of frost damage? This is not optimal, right? For damage comparisons, we look at theory crafting, because it doesn't fucking matter. You just know the maximum potential of a character, and you know it's going to be way less, especially on Umi, on a moving target, right? Let me just show you guys what I mean with Umi on a moving target. Let me show you why this is actually shit, because Umi card sweeps don't even hit. Unga bunga this. Right? It's good if the target doesn't move, right? This is some good damage. And you have hyper body. See, now the tornado is just, yeah. Look at this thing. It's not even on target anymore. It's over. You don't do damage. So like, the moment the target moves, you lose like a lot of your damage. On a stationary target, maybe. But anything that moves, which is basically every fucking boss, besides Hara, yeah. So we wait for Ganono. But yeah, Umi should be top tier DPS, Cactus only. Cactus doesn't even, it's not relevant. Cactus testing is not relevant. Heart do less damage than Spade, yes. You can literally just test it yourself, right? Spade. Right, so for moving targets, you might want to do like Heart instead, right? This did 3.8 mil. Heart did 3.6. Honestly, not that big of a difference, but right, with multipliers, it adds up. Right, you do double Heart for healing and AoE dot damage. Spade for grouping and like more damage. Heart Spade, don't bother if you have 5 stars.